Hi everyone, I'm Jory, and in this video I will be discussing and reflecting on chapters 31 through 36 of the Tao Te Ching. Before I begin, I am taking a drink of my water I have here. Now I am ready to begin reading the Tao Te Ching. Chapter 31 of the Tao Te Ching states, "Weapons are the tools of violence. All decent humans detest them. Weapons are the tools of fear. A decent human will avoid them, except in the direst necessity, and if compelled, will use them only with the utmost restraint. Peace is her highest value. If the peace has been shattered, how can she be content? Her enemies are not demons, but human beings like herself. She doesn't wish them personal harm, nor does she rejoice in victory. How could she rejoice in victory and delight in the slaughter of humans? She enters a battle gravely, with sorrow and with great compassion, as if she were attending a funeral." And that concludes chapter 31 of the Tao Te Ching. This chapter of the Tao Te Ching talks about how one aligned with the Tao feels about violence and such things as force and the tools of fear, the tools of war. How one aligned with the Tao feels about their enemies, people who might be against them. One who is aligned with the Tao understands that all comes from the source, and all returns to the source that is peace and unconditional love, divine love. And so, of course, one aligned with the Tao is lighthearted in this way. And even in the direst situations where the tools of fear, weapons are necessary, they embody great compassion. They are not happy about war and violence. The Tao says, one aligned with the Tao sees the world as themselves. And so, violence in the world, war in the world, is unsettling for one aligned with the Tao. Yet, they keep in mind, they keep in heart and soul the inner wisdom and knowing that they can't control the world. They can only act in accordance with the Tao, with divine love. And in doing so, they conquer the violence They exist as the Tao, the surge of light that combats the darkness, that brings light to the darkness whenever chaos seemingly strikes. Chapter 32 of the Tao states, the Tao can't be perceived. Smaller than an electron, it contains uncountable galaxies. If powerful men and women could remain centered in the Tao, all things would be in harmony. The world would become a paradise. All people would be at peace, and the law would be written in their hearts. When you have names and forms, know that they are provisional. When you have institutions, know where their functions should end. Knowing when to stop, you can avoid any danger. All things end in the Tao as rivers flow into the sea. And that concludes chapter 32 of the Tao Te Ching. In this chapter of the Tao is saying, if everyone were aligned with the Tao, the world would be a paradise. Everyone would have the Tao, the what governs the universe in their hearts, not in their minds, in their hearts. The Tao says, when you have names and forms, know that they are provisional. When you have institutions, know where their function should end. I feel this means that though we have this language, though we have institutions in society, in order for a peaceful society to live, to grow, and exist, one must understand the limits of the institution and names and forms, and understand that they are not the source. They are not the focus. It is the Tao that is the focus, that should be what is written in our hearts. Chapter 33 of the Tao Te Ching states, knowing others is intelligence. Knowing yourself is true wisdom. Mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself is true power. If you realize that you have enough, you are truly rich. If you stay in the center and embrace death with your whole heart, you will endure forever. And that concludes chapter 33 of the Tao Te Ching. This chapter of the Tao really rings true for me in my heart as I am on this spiritual journey in connection with divine love in divine union. I must turn in and know myself. I must be centered in myself, because I have enough. This love is enough. And I must empty my mind, staying in the center, embracing the death of who I was, and embody who I am with my whole heart. And I feel as I do this, I can be truly focused, truly knowing how to move forward in my heart, centered in my heart, because I feel this love. Chapter 34 of the Tao states, "The great Tao flows everywhere. All things are born from it, yet it doesn't create them. It pours itself into its work, yet it makes no claim. It nourishes infinite worlds, yet it doesn't hold on to them. Since it is merged with all things and hidden in their hearts, it can be called humble. Since all things vanish into it, and it alone endures, it can be called great. It isn't aware of its greatness. Thus, it is truly great." And that concludes chapter 34 of the Tao Te Ching. In this chapter of the Tao is saying the nature of the Tao is unlike what is understood to be a powerful source, how a powerful source should be, how a powerful source understands its power. The Tao can be called humble. The Tao can be called great, because the Tao is not aware of its greatness. Because the Tao is all things and is hidden in the hearts of all. The Tao can be called humble. So this collective, this connection, this consciousness of connection, centered on the heart, unconcerned with being perceived, is the nature of the Tao. Tao says, the Tao pours itself into its work, yet it makes no claim. The Tao is an anonymous artist, the anonymous source of all things. This is interesting. One aligned with the Tao, therefore, has this sort of detachment from their work, has an interest in the heart, and is unconcerned with how they rank. Chapter 35 of the Tao states, "She who is centered in the Tao can go where she wishes without danger. She perceives the universal harmony, even amid great pain, because she has found peace in her heart. Music or the smell of good cooking may make people stop and enjoy. But the words that point to the Tao seem monotonous and without flavor. When you look for it, there is nothing to see. When you listen for it, there is nothing to hear. When you use it, it is inexhaustible." And that concludes chapter 35 of the Tao Te Ching. In this chapter, the Tao is being described as without flavor. The Tao can't be seen, can't be heard, yet is inexhaustible. The Tao is not this obviously great path. It doesn't stand out in any particular way. The Tao isn't sparkling. The Tao isn't flashy. Yet the Tao is inexhaustible and abundant. And I think this is true of divine love. Divine love isn't obvious necessarily. Divine love is somewhat just as this is being described. There's nothing to see, nothing to hear, yet divine love is inexhaustible. Divine love doesn't brag and boast, though bragging and boasting is not necessarily bad or evil. Celebrating and being cheerful and being happy and is certainly not a bad way to be about divine love. However, divine love is more in the heart. It's more in the feeling. Proof of divine love is not obvious. Divine love is hidden. Tao says she who is centered in the Tao can go where she wishes without danger. She perceives the universal harmony even amid great pain. So one aligned with the Tao, even in time of great pain, keeps to the knowing in her heart, in their heart, that there is universal harmony, because one aligned with the Tao in their heart has found peace. Chapter 36 of the Tao Te Ching states, if you want to shrink something, you must first allow it to expand. If you want to get rid of something, you must first allow it to flourish. If you want to take something, you must first allow it to be given. This is called the subtle perception of the way things are. The soft overcomes the hard. The slow overcomes the fast. Let your workings remain a mystery. Just show people the results. And that concludes chapter 36 of the Tao Te Ching. In this chapter of the Tao, the lines, the soft overcomes the hard, the slow overcomes the fast. These lines stand out to me because in my life, in my spiritual journey, I have found that this is quite evidenced. The soft overcomes the hard. The slow overcomes the fast. This is because the hard is rigid. The fast does not allow accuracy at times. At times, the fast does not allow the fun of doing what you're doing. The Tao says, let your workings remain a mystery. Just show people the results. I find this line to be interesting the Tao completes all things. How the Tao does this, I don't think humans can really conceive unless aligned with the Tao, existing as one with the Tao. The results of the Tao to the eye, to the observable eye, is obvious. And again, in this chapter of the Tao talks about this balance of things, the nature of things. a subtle perception of the way things are. Subtle perception, perceive. I think it's important to understand the nature of the Tao in order to come into greater peace on this spiritual journey and to understand energy in a deeper sense. The Tao is smaller than an electron. The Tao is chi, is energy, is the cosmic energy that flows through all things. I am, just by reading the Tao, I am more in tune with an inner knowing, and I am moved to open myself up even more to this spiritual journey, and not only this spiritual journey, but in life. The Tao allows me to take a step back and put things into perspective and refocus on what I am here to do, who I am here to embody, which is me, who I am. The Tao just now has realigned me and is bringing me into greater connection with my soul, and is leading me to communicate what is in my heart. Explaining the Tao is not the goal in these videos. Summarizing the Tao is not the goal in these videos. The goal is reading the Tao and allowing the messages I receive to come through, flow through, for my own soul to listen. For my own soul to hear my voice. Because I am not simply a soul having an experience. I am a soul having an experience in a body with a voice, with a mind. So this video was a discussion and reflection on chapters 31 through 36 of the Tao Te Ching. If you resonate with this information and like this video, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe for updates, and comment if you have any ideas about future videos you are interested in or simply want to chat as we build this community. Thank you for listening and tuning in. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care and have a great rest of your day and evening. In closing, I'd like for us all to take a moment to become mindfully aware of our own energy. Breathe in slowly. And out. Ground yourself in this present moment. And grounding yourself in this present moment, let your heart be filled with love. Open your heart for love. Love to you. I'm feeling guided to create another video that speaks directly to divine love and those who are experiencing divine love unions at this time. So I will close this reading out with love, so much love, love to you. And I am about to record the next video. Love and 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 love to you. Let your heart be open to this love. You, love to you. Love and 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 love to you and love to you and love to you and love to you and peace to you and peace to you and peace to you on this journey in your life. Trust and understand love, divine love is yours, is you, is us. Love to you. Love is on the way to you.